It's been a hot minute since I last looked at a freeware add-on from the American side of the TS Classic scene, with the last one I remember reviewing being the Pennsylvania Railroad S1 by DSG DDR, which I reviewed in January 2024. More recently, some people's comments on my videos have pointed me in the direction of switch point simulations, so I thought I'd download one of their packs and try it for myself. These are my 2 cents on SPS's rendition of the Norfolk Southern AC44C6M. SPS released their AC44C6M pack in October 2024, and it's available to download from their website, links in the description. Besides the base game, of course, you only need one payware add-on for the AC44C6M to work, namely the Norfolk Southern Coal District add-on of July 2014, and still available on Steam. If you're going to download the AC44s for yourself, I strongly recommend reading the manual because it features installation instructions and the full list of features. For context, the AC44C6Ms are rebuilds of older C40-9 or C44-9W locomotives, with one key aspect of the project being the replacement of direct current traction motors with newer alternating current motors. The first AC44C6M, number 4000, was originally built in 1995 as C40-9 number 8799 and rebuilt in 2015. Since then, over 900 -9s have been rebuilt for NS, with even more still on the way as of early September 2025. Incidentally, one of the rebuilds has the same number as my channel's namesake locomotive. Another notable member of the class, though not necessarily for good reasons, is 4822, which was rebuilt from C44-9W number 9615 and unveiled in June 2024, wearing a rather controversial livery that's supposed to promote employee appreciation. As for what I think of the livery, I don't like it. Not just because it comes across as a blatantly dishonest PR stunt, but also because the use of red on a mostly black livery just doesn't look good, in my opinion. In any case, one wonders what NS were thinking when they came up with the idea for this livery. As an aside, what's this I hear about a planned merger between Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern? A good selection of liveries and variants are included, starting with the stock standard Norfolk Southern Thoroughbred Black in either NS Altoona or GE Rebuild spec. That's Altoona on the left and Erie on the right. There's also 4000 and 4001 in their Sonic Bonnet livery, a post-rec variant of 4001, 4002 and 4003 in a special black and grey with red mane, 4004 and 4005 in the same livery, albeit with a blue mane, 4144 with a long hood that retains the old NS logo, and even this bizarre variant with the cab and half of the long hood still in primer. Curiously, the Tennessee, Alabama and Georgia heritage livery, as worn by locomotive number 4851, is not included in this pack. Along with the liveries, another aspect of this pack that I particularly like is the headlight textures. These are some of the best I've ever seen on an American diesel in TS Classic. Digital train model, eat your heart out. Incidentally, one wonders what the GP30 has been up to since she got arrested for attempting to kidnap a Class 14 teddy bear. As for the sounds on the AC44C6M, these are pretty damn good as far as I'm concerned, especially when compared to the default audio in a lot of Dovetail's US diesels. Looking at you, Tri-Rail F40PHL-2. You've got the classic chugging sound of the GE 7FDL-16 prime mover, along with different horn and bell types. See the manual for the full list of horn types that were included. I don't know about you, but personally, I prefer steel bells over e-bells. In my experience, I've found the AC44C6M to be relatively easy to drive, but there's a couple of important things to remember when you're driving this locomotive. Firstly, before you start moving, you'll need to press the I key to set the engine control switch to run, otherwise the throttle will not work. And the locomotive brake is also fully applied by default, so you'll need to release it by pressing left square bracket. Another important thing is the functioning alerter, which goes off every 60 seconds if the controls are not moved, and you'll need to press Q to acknowledge the warning. According to the manual, the alerter can be disabled by pressing Shift Q. I'm no expert on the real AC44C6M, but I can't imagine SPS are the sort of people who would botch physics. The locomotive feels quite powerful, as she should, but she's not particularly quick off the mark, even when hauling a light train. Thinking back to the sounds for a moment, I quite like the rattling noise you hear in the cab as you're moving along, but one thing I don't like is the bell triggering automatically whenever you blast the horn, although I'm guessing that's realistic. Unfortunately, the AC44C6M doesn't include any scenarios, so you'll have to set up one yourself or try to find other community-made scenarios on the internet. In my case, I've only ever run this thing in my own free roam scenarios, either on the previously mentioned Norfolk Southern Coal District or whatever other routes I feel like using, regardless of whether or not it's realistic for an AC44C6M to run there. Based on my experience with the AC44C6M, I have a good first impression of switch point simulations. Even though I hardly ever run American freight trains, let alone American diesel locomotives, in Train Simulator, due to my preference for British content, I still like the AC44C6M for being well detailed, including a good selection of liveries, and having high quality sounds. I would go so far as to say that the pack from SPS puts a lot of Dovetail games and digital train models to shame, especially in DTM's case. As for where I'd rate the AC44C6M, I think she deserves an 8 out of 10, and if you've stuck around to the end, you win a singer known for his parody songs, but he has turned into a fish and moved to Pennsylvania. It's Weird Al Tuna,